But let's do it. Let's get on to into the draft for game number 1 of our Saturday showdown.
Here we go. First pick for D+ Kia is the choice here. And blue side for Gen.G. Nocturne going to be taken away right away. Now, in this first draft, I imagine these bans will be pretty similar to what we've been seeing overall with Cassiopeia, the Poppy, Orianna, Nocturne. But as we move deeper in this draft, I think there's been a lot to study on D+. For example, the Twisted Fate could be something that we see banned in this series. The Lucian is going to be taken away from Smash here. They do flex that one and leave the Orianna for now, as a Galio ban will come through first.
All right, so Orianna or Vi, pick your poison, I think is kind of the idea here. Sorry about the hiccup. Oh no, Orcs is here. Did he infect me? Did the hiccup virus get up here?
I heard something about, Cage will tell him something about
you have to
fish?
imagine that you're a fish.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to do that because I've never been a fish before. So hopefully I don't get caught out by another hiccup. Maybe it's just a one-off freak hiccup situation.
Well, let's see what this first pick is going to be, because they do ban the Orianna. First pick, Vi, I'm not a big fan of, even if it is Lucid, one of the best Vi players that we have in our league.
Yep.
But they're going to pick it because it's simple.
And it's Lucid. And you already iterated it. This is something that has worked in the past. I'm not a huge fan of the Vi first pick. I know you're not either.
Ezreal's up too. You know, Ruler loves his Ezreal. He's looking for a big milestone here in this series. And it's his most kills holding champion. They're going to take the Olaf.
Wow.
See if they get the jungle pick here right now, or if they do take the Ezreal and split the support.
I think, yeah, the Cho'Gath really makes some sense. No, Olaf is going to be the consideration here.
Pretty good in Divide, as it turns out.
Yeah, and the Pantheon is going to be alongside it there as well. Pantheon has been making a pretty rapid resurgence. As I don't like the Vayne, just play Kled. You're really good at Kled. Please just play that champion. That would be great.
Or Vayne bottom lane, Rumble mid.
Oh, God, no. That wasn't even Vayne bottom lane yesterday, okay?
Buy Rumble. Yeah, I know. Buy Rumble is pretty good, though. As they're going to go for the Yunara Lulu lane here, which is a lot of damage to cut through the Olaf. I actually really like this choice. Yes, the Pantheon can point-click stun the Yunara and make it a little bit tougher to play the game when we get to later on team fights, but you need a high DPS composition in order to kill the Olaf, and the Yunara is going to be exactly that here. And it feels incredible when you get to protect it in the bottom lane, because Gen.G opted for top jungle here. They won't be able to get a bottom lane duo. They could do something like grab a Bard here and try to compete, but I don't think that's going to be what they want to do. Because then some of the AD carry pairings will be taken away. The only AD carry I could see here is Ezreal that you could grab in this lane right now, but you won't get that range support with it.
This is crazy, though. The fact that they get Olaf Ryze Pantheon in the first round is kind of nutty. This is, I believe, what we saw KT beat T1 with in game number 1 yesterday. It was a very similar lineup of champions. Augmented then by an Ezreal draft towards the bottom side of the map. We'll see whether Gen.G do get their hands on that. I would assume not, especially if they were looking at the what was it? The opening.
Yeah.
You know, the points of the match.
BDD's Rise was insane yesterday.
It was. And Ruler has played a bajillion games and has got a bajillion kills on the Ezreal. So maybe ban that away.
I think they will ban the Ezreal. That makes the most sense. Something like Ezreal and Bard being removed, I think, is the safest play here for D+ Kia to keep their bottom lane protected. My expectation, Karma, also similar situation.
All right.
My expectation for Xiu is that instead of trying to play a range top into this Olaf, he might just want to play some sort of weak side and not win this lane so they can play through bottom, because you're never going to be able to compete with Ryze Pantheon in that volatile top side. Like, they're always just going to have more people up there, so maybe just playing like a Cassante or even like an Ambessa and playing a little bit slow, sitting under turret, could be the way to play that one out. They've taken away Showmaker's Syndra here. Let's see if they will have another counter pick for mid in mind, and with the Vi on the table here, they take away the Ahri.
Okay. So it could be like a Vi Talia if Showmaker does want to go that way. We'll see whether they do ban the Ezreal here, or they think that banning the Karma is going to be enough here in this bottom lane. Showmaker being quite vocal.
Ban.
Yeah, Bard is going to be the takeaway.
Without Karma, without Bard, it's harder to play Ezreal. We have seen a few teams attempt the Ezreal Seraphine. Mixed results. I think it's viable, but it is certainly going to be a little bit tough.
That was literally that would be the draft that KT used. If they just go Ezreal Seraphine here, then that's it. They've locked it in.
I don't necessarily love it, but it is some of the best options they have left. They can flex the Seraphine as well. Ruler's a great Seraphine player. and then leave it a little bit up to what else gets locked in here for D+. So I like this because there's no way they're going to take the Ezreal away from you. You're not going to see Ezreal top into Olaf. It would be very funny, but it's not going to happen. So there's a few options here. You can play the Vayne that's up. You can play Kled. You can play a tank. You can play Cassante. You can play the Ambessa, which is a bit more middle ground for this draft, which I actually really like.
You can play Jax.
You can play Jax. You could also play like Anivia top if you want to change this draft up considerably.
That's a good point.
But the lock pick here.
Oh, they're locking it in.
You are going to have to heavily commit into top side here. And I don't know if this is going to work out into Pantheon Rise. I don't think you can weak side top anymore.
Oh, yeah, Shiu, do it!
This is actually kind of sick, to be honest. I know we all know Shiu could play this, but it just really wasn't on my mind. But it's actually the one pick that could salvage this lock pick for me.
And I also, I love it alongside it. Oh, it's not going to be
Jax.
the case.
No.
We know that his Alawi is really, really fun and very cool, but instead it will be the Jax that we have seen work into the Olaf before.
And
this is the counter that's been attempted a lot, but hasn't necessarily found all that much success, so we'll see how Shiu is going to do on it.
You could play Xayah here. It would be really weird, but I think Ezreal is probably safer.
It's going to be
it's
Ezreal.
And it's Jax, so like there's just even more reasons to play Ezreal.
Well, who played it better, KT or Gen.G? That is going to be the question. I'm very scared because I've heard this Chovy guy is like pretty good at League of Legends, and now he's on the champion that BDD just absolutely obliterated the game with.
So we've talked a little bit about Lock and how you got to have winning lanes, and then you can just, basically dive and press your R button, drop your ult down, and just farm up kills, and then be explosive power in the mid game and all that stuff. We know what this draft does. We know what Gen.G's draft does because we've seen it before. We saw it yesterday. My biggest prediction for how these two drafts clash together is that there is in no way, shape, or form. This is my prediction. You guys can call me out if I'm wrong. You'll be right here to do it. I don't think this will be a close game, period. It has to be one-sided. Either this lock composition gets online super fast and the game goes out of control, the Olaf is useless, and D+ run away with the game, or they try to and fail, and they can't do anything, and the draft is useless, and maybe it's a longer game, but Gen.G will have control from the mid-game on, and it'll just be a disaster. I don't think there's any game where we have a slow burn, not a lot of kills, moving into like 2-2 dragons, it's 1,000 gold to lead only. I don't think that kind of game can exist with these two drafts.
I do think that if D+ get themselves to team fights, this could be absolutely insane. With Locke diving in with his Purgatory, you've got Wild Growth, and then all of that AoE from the Yanara with the Runans now buffed up, right? You can get to that threshold. This could be a Showmaker pentakill game. See what happens, though, as we get onto the roof. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for game number 1. Gen.G taking on D+ Kia. I really do need to go back and check out the KT draft to see whether it is absolutely identical or whether there is a slight variation somewhere, because I'm pretty sure it is just exactly the same champions.
I can't remember Cuz's pick for some reason.
I think it was Pantheon, but not entirely sure. Hang on. Oh, it was Nocturne.
Nocturne, okay.
It was Nocturne.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one that didn't seem right. I was like,
but I mean,
but it's
honestly,
global.
Nocturne is just spooky Pantheon. Let's be honest. They do basically the same thing. You
squishier,
can't target your ultimate.
Yeah,
it's
he's squishier, but he's spookier, so it's fine.
Yeah.
They both have a little shield. One's a spell type shield. The other one's actually physically a shield he holds up.
Yeah. So I think it will work in a similar fashion here to what KT represented yesterday, as it was a different opponent. This top lane matchup, identical, but the mid lane was a different one. Faker actually took the Ahri matchup, which was banned away this time around. Obviously, Showmaker has always had a fair bit of fun on the Ahri. Not going to be doing it this time, and this time going to be trying his hand at the lock. And we've seen a lot of lock picked up with Ignite in the mid lane and things like this. Showmaker has decided to go with the teleport.
Yeah.
A little bit less aggressive into Chovy's Rise, which I feel is a gamble.
I think he's basically just accepting that he will need to use that teleport to get back to lane. He's not going to be able to win burst trades. And speaking of burst trades...
Yeah, Duro taking a lot of damage here, but now Ruler is arcane shifting forward. Smash is in a lot of trouble. Ruler's just autoing him down. The flash has to be used. Oh my god! Okay, Ruler!
He flashes to be able to line up the shot, and the king doesn't miss.
Damn right he doesn't. This guy is looking for 3,000 today.
He's only got
starting in
61.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah, at this pace, he'll be done in game 1. Now, Lucid's going to look for a punish here. Career's super low. Does have flash for maybe polymorph play. Not going to go for it.
Yeah, well, now the punch is actually going to connect onto Duro. Ruler's just standing his ground. He had barrier, and that's just a freebie.
All right, well, that's 2 of the 17, so we're down to...
Okay, yeah, so 15 on the clock.
I did get the update. It's a bit unfortunate for D+ fans that Chronicler is watching, so...
Oh, that's what
has
happened.
Quite the award for watching D+ losing big series, but it's not over yet, but it's certainly looking, like I said, not to be a close game. Watch this flash cue.
Oh my
also,
goodness!
By the way, notice how his camera was set, and he queued. He didn't know exactly what it was, but he queued and he was off screen.
Yeah.
As Lucid just, I mean, this was optimistic, but I think he needed Career to flash forward and try to offer some additional damage and or polymorph. He had low mana. I just think there's a bad calculation. I don't know if Career really could have impacted that one, but Lucid certainly thought he could.
Yeah, I think Lucid needed to, like, remember that there was a barrier on the Ezreal and realize that it was going to be a difficult one to kill.
And he's like looking at Smash like, wait, he killed you without barrier?
Well, now this Gen.G bottom lane are going to be very happy. I think they were already pretty psyched with how things were going. As, oh my goodness. Yeah, I think Ruler managed to go back and buy, like,
yeah, I was going to say, what
half
did you
the
get?
shop.
Sheen and a tier.
As it turns out, if your opponent is level 3, a Sheen proc does 1 trillion damage.
Yeah. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Yeah.
In this case, it does like 87.
Yeah, I was rounding.
Uh,
Rounding up to the nearest trillion.
all right, so this might just be the game. I mean, I'm not kidding, and it's very sad, but Locke needs a lane to play through prio-wise. Now, if you're Canyon knows on the player cam was laughing when this happened. Canyon's like, cool, I think I'm going to put my focus on top side.
Yeah.
Just play safe bot ruler and take your giant lead and keep shoving it into this turret because now they can't play through the Jax anymore because I'm going to be up there. Can't play through a Yunara Lulu lane. And what's the Vi going to do? The Vi lock setup, not that great, actually, until the Vi becomes, or sorry, until the lock gets bigger as Smash is alone.
Yeah, beat drop does come down. Ruler is going to hit the W. And that means that Smash is in a lot of trouble. Misses that Mystic shot. And so now Smash might live, but even Duro's damage is just a little much to deal with. And yeah, this 1,000 gold lead will only extend.
So this was a draft where, you know, things could get a little volatile, but they weren't supposed to go down like this. Esports fans, this was not really what I meant when I said one-sided game.
Well, I mean, it is a one-sided game though, Wolf. And so maybe, even though you didn't mean it, it's what you meant.
Yeah.
I
told you guys.
Exactly like this.
Yes.
Sometimes, you know what's going to happen, but then the reality hits, and you're like, actually, this is not, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Even
set us
Gen.G's
out for
probably
it.
like, man, all the practice potential in this series, at least in game 1, might be out the window. At least she was playing a good game, right? You know, Chovy has a pretty significant CS lead in mid, but that's supposed to happen, especially when the lock takes TP and doesn't have any jungle attention.
Wolf, Keen, okay, he pulled the wave for a second, and now it's no longer pulled.
It would have been really bad if he could have pulled it further. They are sending the Pantheon bottom lane because they expect Lucid to try to salvage this lane right now. And Canyon's already here and has Prio.
Now Lucid going to be able to clear out this ward. Oh, great interruption there with the Vault Breakers. Now Showmaker looking for an angle, finds some nails into Canyon, but Chovy is just going to Realm Warp his way over. Showmaker goes in to try and save the Vi, and somehow that Q is avoided. And he gets himself out of there. Flash forward. There's some purgatory for Ruler. They get him to the threshold, and Showmaker looking to get himself out, but he's put into Runic Prison. Realizes that he has to try and fight his way out and will not manage it. And now Chovy, oh my goodness, that splash damage could have just killed Smash.
Good slow there from Career to help him escape. At least Showmaker was able to get something out of this, but ultimately I don't think it's really even that big of a win. Chovy's going to stop Career's back with Duro's help and grab some more plate gold. They are going to get the Dragon as well off of this play. I think for Gen.G, the game plan there with Canyon bottom side is all I have to do is show up, and we will be able to avoid any sort of disaster. As Ruler's just going to go mid. He's like, I'm ready to farm minions. I already did the champion farming bottom lane. And this should just be a Dragon Secure. But for D+, I think the plan should have been, okay, well, Canyon's here. We don't really have a play to make. So we'll opt out and, you know, maybe waste Canyon's time and the game state won't get worse. However, they do opt in, and because of an extended play here, Showmaker is able to get a little bit of damage down, waits for his opportunity here. Look, Lucid gets chunked out. Initial part of this fight looks really bad for D+, but Ruler gets caught by the ultimate here, which means that the execute threshold is reached, and Showmaker tries to blink away, but gets caught here by Chovy, gets rooted, and taken out. If he gets away there, it's a massive win for D+, but because he doesn't, they're just back to square one. And now Showmaker is even further behind in CS.
Yeah, and Chovy is always going to be a little bit ahead as far as that is concerned, but this is a lot of bit ahead.
He's a whole level up on this lock already.
It's kind of crazy. Going to be getting to level 8, yes, right now. And Korea is here just trying to help Showmaker out. Obviously, is going to be behind by just a little bit. The problem is, there's not a whole lot of late-game payoff in comparison to a Rise if you are playing the lock. Yes, you have that explosive AoE teamfight potential if your opponent is clumped up. But, yeah, you're also facing down the champion with one of the largest 3-item spikes on the planet. Like, you just... It's going to be a rough time.
The farm for the Yunara, the farm for the lock, so disastrously behind. Ruler is 2 levels up currently on Smash.
And Smash is not actually going to be able to get back to his turret either.
He's like, if I flash towards the turret and you wild growth me, maybe I can get a few minions.
Oh man, look at this.
Yeah, he wants level 6. He's going to get it off this wave, luckily for him.
Yeah, there it is. Now Duro's going to get pressured away, but not really much. So they do manage to get the ulti for Smash. That is a big deal. He now has access to a dash. That is good. But as you were talking about before, it just feels like the uphill gradient is just a little steep here for D+.
Yeah, Lucid is going to need to leave this area, I think. Although he does have Showmaker with TP somewhat nearby. Chovy has so much prio, though I don't think he'll be able to make any moves here. But calm down, teams. I'm trying to explain my prediction from earlier. Just want to try to make some of this. I don't think they should, but they're so far behind. They got to try.
Decent assist. They look to get on top of Ruler. There's the encore, but it's not exactly the best. The beat drop, though, that is incredible. Lucid still fighting against Canyon and co, but it's just Ruler left behind. Chovy picks up a double. And why did D+ feel the need to fight?
Well, they're so far behind, they thought maybe we could finesse this, but they just simply cannot. And the thing about Wild is, oh god, it might even get worse.
Yeah, that's another kill. That's just a solo here for the Olaf. Showmaker might be able to kill Kane.
Maybe.
Let's see.
Maybe. He has flash, by the way.
Yeah, Kane is running. He's running. He's running. Someone will get this kill. As Lucid is just happily able to take it. Showmaker wasted all of that time and didn't even get an assist.
So the reason why this game was supposed to be one-sided was either D+ get a huge lead, or they are unable to secure a lead, right? And they're not able to play through prio, and this composition doesn't get online, and then 2-item spike gets hit by Ruler. The Olaf's an immovable object. There's not enough damage to cut through, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we kind of explained this. In this game now, the current game state, D+ are massively behind in the early game. And so not only are they not accelerated, they basically, Gen.G popped all 4 tires on this car.
Yeah.
So it's just not moving.
I think they actually just removed the wheels. I don't think that it's pop tires, Wolf. I don't
know. This looks like 4 flats to me in this team fight.
Yeah, I mean it's flats, but I don't even think you can replace the tires. You need new wheels.
It's a really good play from Duro. Not only does he have the charm, he gets the root, the double root, which allows Chovy to turn what was a failed play into a huge win. They get 2 kills there. And then when Shiu goes for this all-in here, Keen just pops ultimate at the exact right time to prevent the counter-strike from getting a stun. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And then he runs over here to avoid Showmaker, who he expects is coming up. Doesn't get the execute, but gives a kill over only to the Vi, who's the only lead here for D+ in this early game, as Ruler continues to grow larger here. He is...
Oh my lord.
Only has 2 kills, so we slowed a little bit down on the...
He got first Horror Blood. It's a 3K gold lead.
We're a little bit slowed down on the kills to get to 17 here in this series, but the money, that keeps going up. The experience, that keeps going up. He's 50 CS ahead. He might Flame Horizon this game before we continue at this pace.
Yeah, now Chovy is running. There's the flash in from Lucid. They might be able to put down this Rise. The Showmaker should be able to get the burst damage, and there it is. Canyon now throwing Qs around, though, and Showmaker going to have to teleport over that wall. Does manage to do so. Now, Korea and Showmaker able to get themselves out. Nice little pick here.
Yeah,
for
that's a
Lucid.
big win. Big win. 2 kills now to Showmaker. And so, yes, they're going to lose this dragon. Yes, it is going to be double dragon, but they got some money onto this lock. as right now, Steve Max is really happy he's got that Portrait of Mary in the team house because they're going to have to keep hailing it over and over and over in this game. There's just there's nothing else to this game, which is what they did on that last Dragon fight and what they did here.
Yeah.
Just got to keep praying. You got to keep going in. You got to keep hoping that people are out of position and you get that lock reset. And they got it.
It's a Cloud Soul here as well. So Keen will be pretty happy if they manage to pick that one up, press Ragnarok, and then just be able to infinitely run up to anyone you want to murder and just kill them.
It's a Gunblade start here for Showmaker in this game as well, which I think, given the game state,
cool.
is pretty cool because you really just need that extra burst, you need that extra oomph in that hopeful pick you're looking for constantly all the time this game.
Yeah, it gives you that little bit of a slow there as well. That's pretty helpful.
So the idea with this play here is to punish someone out of position, and Career baits Canyon forward, then polymorphs him so he doesn't have any damage here to offer any reprieve or peel for Chovy, who is then taken out. So really nice bait there and a great punish. He said, like, basically give me the kills one by one. He said catch up one by one, actually.
Oh, I like that mentality here.
That's how you have to play this.
Yep.
You have a pick comp, you've got a lock, feed the lock one by one, catch up one by one.
I think trying to get Smash into the game might be a good idea, but also maybe not. Maybe you just sort of let Smash get the farm where he can and just do your very best to make Showmaker get to a position where he can just make people explode. That's what this champion kind of does. That's all right. Xiu does hit level 11. That is a big spike here for the Jax. His team fighting will be dangerous as this game goes on. And they do have a pretty squishy support, right? Like there are picks to be had around the map. And Pix is on the map because Korea's playing Lulu. So
yeah, it's a really pick-based comp with that in mind.
Yeah, Pix-based.
Yeah.
In fact. But now there are just minions crashing towards this top outer turret. Nothing that DK can do about it as Keen might be the target of a gank.
Duro's aware of this. Strong possibility. And he is here with a Pantheon that has ult as well. I don't think D+ should pull the trigger here.
Full health, both summoner spells available, Olaf with ultimate at the ready. Like, I don't know whether you're killing Keen here, guys.
But they can just waste the time of Duro and Canyon and get plates.
I guess so. Well, Lucid is actually going to look for the angle here towards the Pantheon. Canyon now gets underneath the turret as Korea gets himself the wild growth. Canyon doesn't find the angle onto the Lulu, and Keen is so incredibly low, but keeps himself alive. There is a counter-strike. Somehow D+ are still alive as Lucid goes over the wall. And they're still looking for a dive. Guys, just get out. This is already good. In they go. That is going to be the kill onto the lock. But down goes the Olaf that they were looking for as she almost manages to sidestep, but doesn't really get there. Duro is now going to overstep as Lucid. Oh, is the beat drop going to come through? There's the Vault Breaker, and he gets the kill on the Seraphine. I think in the end, Gen.G win because they had Chovy pushing the whole time in the top lane.
I think that this is the best you can hope for as D+. They're taking a page out of the DN Supers book. Like, this is how DN Supers have been playing so well from behind. You just put 4 people in a side lane, and you force them to react. And then they outplay here. Look at this wild growth timing for Career after he's charmed and focused by Canyon. Then Canyon's in the wrong spot, flashes himself, then misses Career, and now doesn't have his buttons for a few seconds here. Shio waits for the counter-strike. They dismantle this defense. They take out the Pantheon, and then they can look for the redive here onto Keen. Doesn't have summoners anymore, no exhaust here. Lucid goes in first. They have the damage here. It's a sacrifice of the lock, and then Duro gets a little greedy here trying to punish. And yes, he does get Shield ultimately, but when this charge Q comes through from Lucy, he has enough of a shield here to force him back. And for some reason, Duro goes back in again and does end up dying there. All that Vi damage. So they're going to look for a rinse and repeat. This is actually so ironically the DN Supers playbook. And part of how they beat Gen.G in Kespa Cup, actually. Here we go again.
Yeah, Chovy's moving over though this time around as Showmaker gets the nail gun out, but isn't able to find too much. Canyon will be able to take the Rift Herald without too much of a response here. Heads back towards his jungle.
And I think that, like you said, the side lane pressure from Chovy, all the money he picked up there, is definitely higher value than what D+ are doing. But if D+ just play a standard game here, that's also going to happen. And they're just going to get pushed out of the game. Now they have a Jax that's got some money. You know, this lock is further online than he was before, has tier 3 boots. And all the while, Smash is, like you said, just not being played through, but farming. And it will eventually be an AD carry threat later on. And with this pick comp, if you kill anyone first, then the Yunara can clean up in a 5v4 pretty easily. So I think this is still an incredibly Gen.G favored game state, but it feels like D+ had at least a good plan as to how to play this draft from behind, which is way more than we could say for most teams.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking, like, at least they have a plan.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teams, and honestly, like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, after the catastrophic mistake of that early game, like, how do you ever get yourself back in? And having any sort of idea of how to fight back is better than nothing.
It goes back to the confidence, as I'm going to hold my thought on this. I haven't engaged. Looks like Lucy will think better of it. But it goes back to Showmaker saying 1 by 1. It goes back to the play against the crowd mentality that D+ have had since EWC. When they're underdogs, they like it. And in this game, they certainly are. They're going to look for a play here on this top side turret. They are literally just playing like DNS. This is actually crazy. And maybe DNS is behind all the time, so they kind of have to play like this, but D+ are emulating it really well.
Oh, Lucid not going to be allowed to go back home. Chiu is able to take this outer turret on the top side of the map, but Chovy is Chovying exceptionally hard. Now has his first 2 items completed, fully stacked up at the ready. Oh, it does need 3 stacks on the Road of Ages, but he's getting very, very close. 199 CS to 135 as well at 18.5 minutes is not too bad here for the Rise. So he's going to be actualizing very, very soon.
Yes.
And I do not know what the counterplay to that is going to be.
It's really common for the Rise to be, or sorry, for the Lock to be 50 CS behind, even in a winning game state, because you're just constantly roaming, you're constantly looking for picks. And if you're side laning, you're usually doing it wrong. It usually means you're losing. And in this game, Showmaker is going to be doing a little bit of that. He opted for the teleport. But like you mentioned, it is a bad thing for team fights when the Rise is freely able to farm, has those extra kills. That part is definitely a little bit less natural than 50 CS behind. We'll see if D+ can turn this game around in 4 minutes' time on this upcoming Dragon fight. Herald also will be something they have to defend as we have a Ragnarok.
Oh, Lucid actually able to get towards the back of this pit. Does flash to get himself out of the way. Like you were saying, Ragnarok was invested into that, but not the biggest of cooldowns when there is a flash now down on Lucid.
I think Lucid played that pretty well to escape, but like you say, a trade of ults and flash in the short term, good for D+ here. In the long term, bad for Lucid to not have that. I don't know if they'll be able to punish this Olaf at all.
Yeah, going to be a difficulty, as you can see. Keen now parking himself towards his top lane. Showmaker doing his very best to actually collect some farm, at least for now, to build that second item as quickly as possible. Chiu does have his Hex Plate now done. Pretty cute that we've seen Jax's move towards this item as well. Seeing a lot of... I think this might be a result of the pseudo-nerf to the Sundered Sky.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be moving towards that one as well, getting more access to the Grandmaster's might, especially in the matchup against the Olaf.
The observers really want to show everyone that Chovy's about to have a literal 2-level lead, that this first level lead he has right now is completely legit, but he's about to have a legit 2-level lead, and possibly even a 3-level lead temporarily.
It's like a 2 and a bit level lead.
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts. He's continuing to move towards his top side. We'll wait to see when that Rod of Ages is going to tick on past. We might actually be able to see the... There it is. There it is.
There he is.
We get the animation. Beautiful.
2.5, but on screen and in stats, 3 levels.
And okay, Keen is going to take a lot of damage here. Showmaker looking for a bit of an angle. Soul Ignition is there. He eats that gray health to try and keep himself alive. They are going to be able to get a few plates here, I'm pretty sure. But Chovy is at this top lane inhibitor turret, and there is like 2 plates left.
Yeah, you can't overload the one lane and just play through that and ignore the side lane when it has a Herald in lane and it's a Rise that's super fed.
Yeah, do you want to know what's really unfair, Wolf? It feels like Gen.G are overloading the top lane when they only have Chovy there.
Yeah. So D+ lost a lot of the tempo they were looking for earlier on, since the outer in the bottom lane is gone, the outer and top lane is gone, so you don't have a dive setup. You kind of just have to go super deep, which is too far to play on this map into a Pantheon. And the Pantheon Rise here can pinch you if you try to push anywhere else. Like if they tried to push the mid-outer, they would have just gotten Realm Warped and Starfalled on. So they kind of just have to defend, sadly.
Well,
yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, he actualized.
Yeah, he actualized.
He realized a 2-level advantage as well. And like we're looking at Gen.G take this Scuttle, clear vision, and they probably start Baron soon. It's a 3-item Ezreal at the fairly average 2-item spike point.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, this is a really difficult game. That being said, there's one takeaway that we can have, and that is thank you, Ruler, for teaching us about primary colors. because he does have 3 items that do represent the primary colors.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And he might take us through the rainbow, you know? Might be a Sterix next. Sorry, a Spirit Surgeon next. Add a bit of green in there.
Yeah, he needs green.
Yeah, I know it's a tertiary color, but it feels primary, doesn't it?
I mean, the Boots of Lucidity also kind of representing a sort of a turquoise type vibe going on.
Yeah, this is like a cyan sort of thing going on in the background. Otherwise, it's red. Let's see what you're throwing down. This is what we're talking about here in this game, because it's been really quite difficult for D+ to find any sort of angle back in. And yes, they grabbed some picks, but look at this. The Lulu gets Arcane shifted and Mystic shotted once, and that is an almost dead support.
The next thing to talk about here is, can Gen.G take this dragon while also getting more on the map? Or do they need to bring everyone here for a D+ contest? If they kind of half do the setup, like if they don't really do their due diligence here, then maybe, you know, Showmaker cleans up some kills here. So they need to, I think, group.
Oh, okay, cease and desist, trying to get on top of Ruler, but the Arcane shift timing's too good. Showmaker dead before he can do anything, as Xiu trying to get on top of him, but Ruler just kites it out. Gorgeously played by the Gen.G 80 carry. They'll take themselves a Cloud Soul, and if this game wasn't already over, by God, it's over now.
Yeah, it's Cloud Soul, it's Baron, and Career's like dropping more vision on the Baron pit. I'm like, all right, well, good luck with what you're going to do with that, my man. But he's doing his job. But his job has very little purpose in this game. If this were a giant corporation, he'd probably get laid off in this one. As Lucid can look for a steal, he's got Flash. Okay, maybe Duro?
Yeah, Duro's going to get taken out. Ruler is now going to get polymorphed and Smash. Looking for the angle, finds a double kill. Lucid gets the Baron pit. Oh my God, D+ might be doing it. But there is Lucid taken down by this massive Olaf. Smash looking to kite it out. And Career gets in front. Chovy taken out as Showmaker makes his way back in. Is he going to find his former jungler? He will not, as that is the ulti away from Canyon.
All right. D+ Kia, maybe I should have been a little bit more familiar with your game, even as a D+ predictor. I think they would pull that one up. Now, that vision I talked about Career setting up was actually incredibly relevant, because look at, okay, we're going to go all the way back to this dragon fight for some reason. I don't know why. But it's a really good play from Ruler, so I guess that's why he buys the space here. But I really want to watch the Baron. I'm sad that we won't get to now.
No, we can. It's right there.
Well, I mean, like...
Do you want me to, I can take
No, I meant the Baron replay, but anyway, this because that's way more important than...
Oh!
Okay, here we go.
Goodbye, Korea.
They have...
Smash and Showmaker do not have Smite, exactly. 700 health, 700 health. Smash just kill it. There it goes. Xiu is now looking to run away. Lucid trying to get on in here. As over the wall he goes. Great Vault Breaker, cease and desist, and down goes Canyon. But Smash is also dead. The bottom lane removed, but DK get the Baron, and most importantly, they take the Baron off the map.
Yeah. So are we going to do that Baron fight now? Okay, so look at this ward that I mentioned earlier from Career. Actually spots Duro. I was talking about like, oh yeah, he's going to get laid off, or I was making the caster jokes, I thought it's a foregone conclusion, but it actually allows him to set the pick. Then they get loosed into the pit, he gets to Wild Growth, and now it's an awkward fight here for Gen.G. They're not in Smite range, it's at 6k health, so they actually have to force the fight. The root hit Smash from Chovy, and I thought for sure he's doomed, but he can kite it back. He has just enough damage to take the Olaf out. Actually crazy he's able to pull that off, despite Chovy hitting an amazing root here. Career tries to shield this True Shot barrage, is unsuccessful here, so this gets a little bit messy, as Canyon does not have Flash. So he's trying to charge a Q here for the steal and decides, okay, well, this isn't worth it. I'm going to look for Xiu instead. They get the Baron. Xiu here gets the outplay with the counter-strike, and they actually burst him down, and everybody else gets out but Smash. So D+ survived with several Barons here.
Yeah, a bit of a sorry there from Canyon. I think he was doing his very best to like get out his horticultural kit and grow a Blast Cone. That's why he was waiting there, and the Blast Cone did actually just spawn. Right as he sort of left and gave up on the idea. It was very, very cool.
Well, he not only couldn't have impacted the Baron, but then looked for the play afterwards on the chase and just gets outplayed by Infinity. So I think he's frustrated.
You want to know, though?
The initial part wasn't his fault.
There is a very important thing to talk about, and that is the POM frontrunner right now in this game is actually Huni. Yeah? Because the Huni Baron did about a bajillion damage in both of those fights.
Well, I think it's also because Huni said it's going to be a Huni series. That's why he's here. And like the early game didn't look like it was going to be a Huni series, but I think Huni just stomped his feet aggressively, and then D+ started doing the thing.
Yeah, I think he might have actually gone into like the coach's booth or something like that, or spoke to the referees.
It is crazy how much of an impact that one ward for career made. He was able to then spot Duro. They actually saved that play. His wild growth timing insane there on Lucid's re-engage, and you know, it seemed doomed. You know, we were already writing the obituary. We were already joking about the situation, but D+, again, one by one, like Showmaker said, one by one, piece by piece, they are trying to get this game back, and it's only a 2,000 gold lead at 27 minutes. Sure, they're up against Cloud Soul, and yes, several Barons were removed. This is not a strong Baron play by any means, but they denied it, and who knows what they could do next.
Yeah, look, you cannot count your chickens before the Nexus has exploded. I'm pretty sure that's the saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw like about 27, and we were
Yeah. And then there were just more chickens to come. So there's really no point until
I feel like
them all sorted out.
The cuckoos from Zelda attacked us because we were poking the chickens a little too much on that one.
Yeah, don't just like start waving your sword around in Kakariko Village, okay? Don't do that. It is dangerous.
Well, Gen.G stabilizing here. You know, Ruler's on 4 items, has his Shojin's done now. Arm guard for safety here for Chovy. No GA yet for Keen. Or I guess he's not going to be building that this time. We'll be building the Sterex, but...
Or the Death Dance.
Or sorry, Death Dance is the word I was thinking for. Thank you.
But third item Sterex has been a thing more recently.
Yeah, optional. But Death Dance is what he's likely going for. He doesn't have that yet. Arm guard also bought here for Shiu. We could give him another Counter-Strike in a team fight. Let's see if he walks into a trap here, though.
Oh, Keen and Chovy. Oh, he does get the ward down, but this is still going to be a very difficult moment because he doesn't have his flash available. Chovy just going to prevent him having any opportunity to get over this wall. And Keen and Chovy grab themselves the pick onto the Jax. Now 45 seconds.
That could be an inhibitor here, you know, just on the play itself, because they have such a big push here with this cannon wave, and they have control with this Pantheon in the mid lane.
But there's also an Elder Dragon that's coming up in 33 seconds now, and that's about as long as it's going to take Shiu to respawn. I think he may have the teleport available, but if Showmaker dies... Oh my goodness. Okay, Ashen Pursuit does get himself out of there. And D+ Gear need to be so careful in this 4v5 scenario. Gen.G setting up the siege. This turret is not going to last very long, and down it will go. They're not going to bite off more than they can chew. You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
They are playing so much more measured now after that disaster that just happened around the Baron.
4 seconds till Elder. D+ actually have the vision around it, and one of those wards was just replaced, so they had 3 and they only have 1 now.
Oh my god.
From Jax. Like, they actually have Prio, at least. They have Prio on this Elder. This is crazy.
Immediate teleport from Shiu gets him over there. He's got an arm guard as well.
These wards have been so high value. Now this one will be cleared, and he is known. It is known that he's flanking here. They don't know exactly where he is, so they have to play it slow.
Yeah. They did their pull bay research, and Shiu is now going to have to leap strike his way out. Undertow is going to miss, but Keen still running after him.
D+ have Prio, but they still will have to win the ensuing fight in order to secure this Elder. They can't start it right now. They're too far behind.
I think the one thing that D+ have been really good at is understanding the ebb and flow, right? As they chase Shiu out of there, the rest of D+ are moving down. You can see them on the minimap. Immediately following, they see Chovy moving over. They see Keen coming in, and Shiu looking for the angle. He finds the stun on Ruler, but he is able to get himself out of there. Now Chovy flashes on top. Showmaker just dead as this Olaf is going ballistic, and all of D+ are just going to get routed. It was a cute little idea. It was a fun play around the Baron, but it's become all business for Gen.G, and they've just closed up shop.
D+ were kind of like annoying mosquitoes flying around Gen.G, and they were eventually swatted down in this final moment. I liked how you mentioned the ebb and flow, the push and pull of Shiu trying to pull them away from the Elder so they could force their way in and have that Prio. But Gen.G were looking for a fight, and a fight is what they got. Chovy celebrates by breaking his arm guard here in a very close game, much closer than anyone anticipated. Gen.G are able to take the win here.
A very close stomp is what I'll call it.
Yeah.
The bottom lane play, absolutely perfect. And the way that he played out these team fights as well, always seemingly having the answers. Him and Duro, they're just to outplay D+. And Gen.G demonstrating that this might be, like, you know, Nocturne or Pantheon, you know, it doesn't really matter, but this might be the comp at the moment the team's going to have to be wary of, because KT also made this look broken.
이거 나랑 잭스 잡으러 가자, 올라프. 나 잭스? 어야 텍스.
야 이거 우리 때 이지 조심 이지 조심. 조심.
맞아.
한번 넘어갈게.
맞아. 야 유나라.
나이스.
나이스.
야 텍스
바이, 바이,
누워 있어 여보.
진짜 교전 너무 됐네.
까비.
난리 났구만.
난리 났어잉.
진짜 훨씬 빨리 끝나는 건데.
까비요.
바텀에서
나 못했다가 연속을 들리. 그러니까.
바텀에서 바텀 진짜 그냥 퍼드라는데 이거.
이거 바이 여기서 큐 맞는 게 그냥 개반해요.
나 그전에 그냥 큐풀 실수부터 그냥 말이 안 됐어.
그거는 이제 1년 질만하긴 했어요 형.